Hello, it's me, Pete here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to set up Jellyfin on Proxmox with GPU pass-through. No more nonsense, let's get started. First things first, we need a template. Head over to the Proxmox dashboard, go to your local storage, and select CT templates. From there, download the Ubuntu 22.04 or 24.04 template. Do not use an older version. We need a modern kernel for the best driver compatibility. Now, click Create CT. I'm going to use a privileged container today. Why? Because it simplifies the iGPU permission mapping significantly for a quick setup. If you need strict isolation, you can use unprivileged, but you'll have to map group IDs manually, which can be tricky. For a home media server, privileged is totally acceptable. Let's name it Jellyfin. Then set your root password and click Next. Select the Ubuntu image that we've just downloaded, and Next. Set the disk size. I'll allocate 20 gigabytes. This is plenty for metadata and images. Click Next. For the CPU, I'm using an Intel N100. It has 4 cores, so I'll assign them all to let Jellyfin utilize full performance. For memory, 2 gigabytes of RAM is plenty. There's really no need to waste resources on more than that. Now, let's move to the network. Make sure you select the LAN interface here. You could use DHCP if you wanted to, but I really don't recommend that. All your servers should have a static IP. So, I'm going to set the IP address here, along with the gateway, to make sure the server can actually reach the internet. Click Next after you're done. You can leave the DNS setting like host settings or input your own. Then click Finish to start creating container. The container is ready to start, but hold on, we need to pass through the GPU first. This is the most important step to ensure your container can transcode video efficiently, which is the biggest benefit of using a CPU with integrated graphics like N100. Let's access the Proxmox shell. It's always good practice to update the system first to ensure we have the latest packages. Now, here comes an important part. First, run this command. If you get a result like mine, it means your GPU driver is fully detected. Otherwise, it implies that either your CPU doesn't have integrated graphics or there's a driver issue that needs fixing. Make sure to note down those numbers, 226 and 128. We're going to need them in a minute when we modify the config file. Now, run this command. Replace ABC with your actual container ID. You can find this ID on your Proxmox dashboard. In my case, it is 103. Add these lines to the very end of the file. Remember those 2 numbers I told you to note down earlier? This is exactly where we use them. Important, just replace the values here with your own numbers, as they might be different depending on your specific hardware. Then, save the file. And now, we can finally start the container. Once it's running, go ahead and access the shell. Log in with your root account, and let's run a quick update to make sure everything inside is fresh. Next, let's install curl and GPG. We need these softwares for the install script. Next, let's install Jellyfin. Copy and run the installation script. As always, I will put all the details in the video description below. Let's stop right here for a second. You need to check two important things. First, check the Jellyfin service status and make sure it is actually running. Second, look at the web UI address. It should be your container's IP address, followed by port 8096. And finally, don't forget to check the GPU pass-through config. Run this command again, and check if the driver is mounted properly. If your result looks the same as mine, then we're good to go. Now, we need to add the user Jellyfin to both the render and video groups. This ensures that the application has the necessary permissions to access the driver and actually use the hardware. Run these commands. And we finally can head over to the web UI. Open your browser and enter the IP address and port you noted down earlier. You'll need to go through the initial setup wizard first. Once that's done, go ahead and log in. From the left navigation panel, go to Dashboard, then select Playback. Here, we're going to configure Jellyfin to use hardware transcoding. First, select Intel QuickSync as the hardware acceleration type. Then, check all the boxes under the Enable Hardware Decoding section. Note, since I'm using an N100 CPU, it doesn't support AV1 encoding, so I will leave that specific option unchecked. Keep everything else as default, and once you're done, click Save. Next, let's map an SMB share for storage. This allows you to manage videos on your computer, drop them into the share, and have Jellyfin sync them automatically. Here, you can see I have a shared folder on my NAS named OMV. I've already placed a video file in there, which we'll use for testing a bit later. Now, head back to the Proxmox dashboard and select your container. Go to Options and look for Features. Double-click on it to edit and make sure to check the SMB/CIFS box. Once that's done, restart your container to apply the changes. Once the container is back up, go ahead and access its shell. We need to install a package called CIFS utils to handle the file sharing. Just run this command. Now, let's mount the share to our container. First, create a new directory. This will serve as our mount point. Then, we need to edit the FS tab file. This ensures the container automatically mounts the share every time it starts up. Add this line to the very end of the file. Now, pay attention here. You need to replace the IP address and share folder name with your own. Next, input the mount point path that we just created. And finally, enter the username and password for your NAS. Save it, then run this command to mount. And just like that, you can see the video I added to the NAS is now showing up perfectly. Now, let's create a library. Head back over to the Jellyfin web UI, select Libraries, and then click on Add Media Library. Remember, you need to point this to the mount point we just created earlier. That's where your files actually live. Give it a few seconds to scan the folder. And now, we're finally ready to test. Okay, look what we have here. This sample is a massive 120 megabit 4K HEVC video. I'm going to try playing it right here in my computer's browser. Let's go. As you can see right here, the play method is showing as transcoding. This is exactly what we wanted. It means the server is handling all the heavy lifting using the GPU. The client device just streams the video smoothly without having to do any hard work. This is the main reason why we set up the GPU pass-through in the first place. Now, some of you might be thinking, I don't need this. My phone and TV are monsters. They can handle these workloads easily. Well, that's not the whole story. The important thing is, transcoding isn't just about compatibility, it's about mobility. Imagine you're at a hotel with choppy Wi-Fi, or you're on a 5G connection. You simply cannot stream a massive 80 megabit 4K Remux file directly. It will just keep buffering. You need the server to compress that stream down to 10 or 15 megabits so you can watch it smoothly remotely. Also, if you watch Blu-rays with image-based subtitles, many modern clients cannot overlay them natively. Jellyfin has to burn them into the video on the fly. That process requires heavy video encoding, and that is where your GPU shines. Well, I think we're done here. I hope you learned something new today. Jellyfin is truly a great media server for your home lab. It's powerful, free, and surprisingly easy to configure. But here's the best part. It works perfectly with automation tools like radar and sonar. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to combine Jellyfin with those tools to build the ultimate automated library. You definitely don't want to miss that. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and see ya!